I need help. Alright guys, so most likely this video's gonna get emotional, especially near the end of this video. So if that's something you're into, you wanna watch a grown man express his feelings and watch a raw, real, uncut video, I'll definitely watch this entire thing. So, I have struggled with an addiction since I was 15 years old. And just a matter of months ago, I became aware of it and have overcame it. So what is this addiction? Well, to be family friendly, for the sake of YouTube, let's just call this addiction the addiction of playing Monopoly. This is actually an inside joke from one of my old videos. If you don't know what playing Monopoly means, check the comments down below. I'm sure someone would be glad to enlighten you. So for over 10 years, I've been addicted to playing Monopoly. And I'm not special in that regard. I was just lucky enough to become aware of it. You see, almost everyone watching this video right now is addicted to Monopoly as well. Maybe it's not Monopoly with a partner, but maybe it's Monopoly by yourself. Maybe, more likely, it's watching people play Monopoly on the internet. That could very well be the worst Monopoly addiction of all. That makes regular Monopoly not as good. That is extremely unnatural, and that rewires the brain in not the most ideal way. So how do you know if you are addicted to anything at all, really? Well, there's this cool test by a guy known as Gay Hendricks. And essentially the test goes like this. Whatever you think you might be addicted to, stop doing it for 1 week. If any cravings arise, you're addicted. That's a pretty radical thought, huh? That means that not only are you definitely addicted to Monopoly, some form of Monopoly, but you're most likely also addicted to food, video games, maybe socialization, and especially thinking. That's right, so you take thinking for granted. You think that it's supposed to be compulsive to think. Of course you're addicted to thinking. How else could you survive in the world? Well, through deep meditation and consciousness work, you can realize that you can be free of the compulsive nature behind thought. Of course, you will still think, but there won't be any addictive qualities to that thought. You can detach from your thoughts and be the observer of the thoughts, rather than identify with the thoughts. That is probably the biggest addiction of all. But let's talk about Monopoly addiction, because that's what this video is about. See, a lot of you are probably getting really offended. It's questioning your identity, it's questioning your sense of self. The ego is fearing this thought. No, I can't be addicted to Monopoly. Monopoly is natural, it's so good. I mean, everyone loves Monopoly, everyone does it. Third eye is shown here, let's fix that. That is true, but that doesn't mean that everyone isn't addicted. See, it's actually an evolutionary selection for men to be addicted to Monopoly, because men who are addicted to Monopoly have a better chance at passing down their DNA than men who aren't addicted to Monopoly. So it's this biological addiction. Do not feel bad about it. It is just nature. It is the universe. But that does not mean that you have to accept it. You don't have to live with that addiction. Yes, we are biological humans, but we are also spiritual beings. We can transcend all of our biological fears and desires. It is possible. Take me for example. I've done it, and I was probably more Monopoly addicted than anyone else. So how did I realize that I was Monopoly addicted? It wasn't during the Monopoly addiction. It wasn't until I cured the Monopoly addiction that I realized that I was addicted. So I recently did a 40-day fast where I didn't eat food for 40 days. And I live streamed the entire thing as well. I was on camera 24/7, which meant that I could not play any type of Monopoly for 40 days. During those 40 days, of course, my hormones went to shit. My anabolic hormones, my manly androgenic hormones. And because I refrained from playing any sort of Monopoly for 40 days, and actually I did it for 30 more days after the fast, it completely cured my Monopoly addiction. That's really all it takes to cure an addiction, is to, first of all, be aware of it, shine the light of awareness on it, and stop doing it. You know, awareness is actually curative. They've done studies where people will stop smoking just by meditating. See, all destructive behavior stems from unconsciousness. When you are conscious and aware and in the moment, in the present moment, and out of your conceptual mind, you get out of zombie mode, right, and actually be, you will find that you will stop doing all behaviors that are destructive to you. All destructive behavior stems from unconsciousness. If you meditate while smoking a cigarette, you're gonna realize how disgusting it is, how badly you feel when you stop doing it. Not just meditating while you're smoking, but meditating after. Meditating on the withdrawal. See, the more conscious that you get, the more you will stop desiring these fleeting fulfillments of pleasure. And you will desire a base state that is powerful, present, and energetic. You'll start focusing more on the base state rather than these fleeting fulfillments of desire. So, I realized that I was addicted to Monopoly after my 40-day fast. See, when you identify or grasp anything, you will suffer. I was the guy who was good at Monopoly. I was the guy who played Monopoly with a bunch of people. And it became a sort of identity for me. Not only that, but it was filling a void. All of us are afraid of sitting alone in an empty room and the boredom that comes with it. Really, all addiction on the deepest level is a form of escapism. It's a way to escape reality, your existential reality. When you sit in a room and do nothing, you will start noticing this void, and your ego will try and shy away from it, this nothingness, this emptiness. Instead of doing that, you need to turn towards that, because that emptiness is actually you. This can be a profound awakening experience when you embrace and actually become this emptiness. See, this emptiness, this nothingness, it's a nothingness that is magical. It's a nothingness that exists. It's your true nature. It's who you are beyond the mind and body. And see, nothingness was never alive in the first place. And it will always be. That is truly what you are. And if you identify with that nothingness rather than this body-mind, you will be free. The nothingness is what's unchanging. The nothingness is what's freeing. The nothingness is what's eternal. This body-mind, temporary. All these material possessions, temporary. Your relationships, even your family, your friends, temporary. All else is impermanence. The only thing that is permanent is your true nature, who you really are. And it's this empty void. But it's this empty void with infinite potential. It's really too deep of a subject to really get into, but essentially all addiction stems from the fear of your true nature, who you really are. And of course, meditation can help overcome this. So, I realized that my entire life was based around Monopoly. I didn't really see it in the moment, but retrospectively, I became very aware. I was trying to get money so I could do more fun things with partners that I could potentially play Monopoly with. I wanted to get money so I could travel to play Monopoly with girls of all different cultures, right? I was trying to be famous and successful in order to attract more Monopoly partners. And see, most of us are very unconscious to this fact, but so much of the corruption in this world is due to these selfish addictions. Corporations, the leaders of corporations, are so selfish. They desire monopoly, they desire money, they desire power, and they're addicted to these things. And when you're an addict, you will do anything to fulfill your addiction, and you will act immorally. And that's really where this evil stems from. We are all addicts. We just don't realize it. So, once I was cured of this Monopoly addiction, how did I stay that way? How did I stay cured? Why haven't I slipped back into it? Have I just not played Monopoly this entire time? Well, of course not. If you checked out my OnlyFans, you would know. Desire is not the cause of this evil, of this addiction, of this uncomfortableness, right? It's unconscious desire. You can actually fulfill your desires in a conscious way and have them not be addicting. So let's take Monopoly, for example. When you're very, very conscious when you're playing Monopoly, whether it be by yourself or with a partner, very, very conscious during, at the Monopoly peak, and afterwards, you will start to realize that the best part of the Monopoly is right before the peak. At the peak, it's a fleeting experience, and then afterwards, you feel terrible. Let's say after you throw your Monopoly money in the air. When guys throw their Monopoly money in the air, they feel terrible afterwards. It's fun to do it, but afterwards, you lose all attraction to your Monopoly partner. You feel tired, you feel lethargic. Most guys have not gone a couple days without throwing their Monopoly money. See, refractory periods can last up to 3 days. Try and go 3 days without throwing your Monopoly money. You will begin to realize the incredible amount of energy that you have from withholding your Monopoly money. See, in Taoism, they knew this to be beneficial. They have this rule where, depending on your age, you only throw your Monopoly money a certain amount of times per week. If you're young, it's around 4. If you're really old, it's not at all. They realize that the withholding of this Monopoly money is the key to good physical and mental health. Now, of course, there's probably a balance to this. Me right now, I've been enjoying completely withholding my Monopoly money while still engaging in Monopoly. And remember how I said that you start focusing on your base state and the present moment rather than these fleeting moments of the fulfillment of desire. That really is all in the conceptual mind. That's where the real pleasure comes in. It's like thinking about the fulfillment of the desire, but then when it happens, it's just fleeting. And when you're really aware of this, you realize it's not fulfilling at all. It's much better to focus on your base state because you carry your base state with you everywhere. And withholding your Monopoly money drastically improves your base state. So, throwing your Monopoly money on the physical level releases a ton of dopamine. A ton, especially when you watch other people play Monopoly on the internet. It's this horrible cycle. Just like becoming addicted to a drug, you're addicted to this dopamine. And it's a vicious cycle. You need more and more and more and more and more dopamine to get your fix. So you're trapped in this dopamine cycle. And the only way to break out of it is to do a dopamine detox. So you stop. And here's the thing. Don't be hard on yourself. This will come if you are aware. You don't need to try and force these behaviors. When you examine your mind and examine your behaviors and are just conscious, meditate on the thoughts of this desire, it will take care of itself. So instead of trying to not play Monopoly while throwing your Monopoly money, or trying not to watch other people play Monopoly on the internet, or trying not to play Monopoly with yourself, just be hyper aware while you do it. And that awareness is curative. Gradually you will realize that it's not fulfilling. It's fleeting. And gradually you will stop. Maybe all at once you will stop. That's the key to curing your addiction. So, how did I get back into Monopoly without becoming addicted again? Well, that's why I invented Prima Sati Yoga. Ta-da! Prima Sati Yoga was actually a very selfish endeavor. It was a way to get back into playing Monopoly without getting addicted. Why? Remember how awareness is curative? They've done studies on this, right? During Prima Sati Yoga, you meditate. You are hyper aware the entire time. And not only that, but the challenge is to withhold throwing your Monopoly money. And it's this whole process. It's focused on the connection between the two people. Not performance, not the physicality behind it. The physicality behind it is just an awesome bonus. Now, of course, I can't explain all that goes into Prima Sati Yoga here. I can just tell you that 100% I have been having a ton of fun little Monopoly encounters, and I don't feel addicted whatsoever. It's incredible. So check out my videos about Prima Sati Yoga to know what it's all about. And you should definitely check out me doing Prima Sati Yoga on OnlyFans. I design it in a way to where if you watch this, you're going to be meditating too. There's meditative music on, and I teach you the meditative process. It can almost be a guided meditation if you treat it like that. So if you're really addicted to watching Monopoly and you don't want to be, start out, take a small step, and just watch my Monopoly on OnlyFans. Right? Seriously. Seriously. Because my Monopoly on OnlyFans forces you to meditate while watching other people play Monopoly. And that will eventually be curative. Do you see where all this is going? I'm creating these practices not only to help me, but to help you. I'm truly trying. I've had such an incredible awakening, and I want to spread this love to you. So yeah, go check out my OnlyFans. Of course, it's a selfish endeavor, but it's also a selfless endeavor. You'll find that the duality between selfishness and selflessness collapses because we are all one. That's possible, right? You'll find that you doing what's right for you is actually doing what's right for everyone else. That's why Jesus preached against sin. Sinning isn't just bad for the other person, it's bad for you. You think that you can take from the world and have that to yourself. No, 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 no. When you take from the world, you take from yourself. Be aware. It all comes down to awareness. When you take from another person, watch what happens to your mind. Your conscious starts activating, and your mind starts hurting you. You start getting mentally uncomfortable when you hurt someone else. And most people are unaware of this. They don't realize that, right? But that's the perfection of reality. Selfishness and selflessness can be one. So, I hope that gave you a good idea of what's going on. I haven't cried yet. Why? Well, I've been saving it for this moment, see? So, I like to draw people in with surface level concepts, like Monopoly. But of course, the goal is to then expose people to spiritual concepts. I'm giving people what they need, not what they want. So, I thought I would do a little acting for you and act how I used to act when I was addicted to Monopoly. So, with that being said, where should I start? Oh, hold on. I just got a text. Ooh, who is it? Yes, let's see. She did it again. She did it again. She canceled on me for the second time in a row. Are you kidding me? She can't give me at least a couple hours so I can find some other girl to play Monopoly with? Are you kidding me? I was thinking about it all day. I was thinking about how good it was gonna be all day. It was gonna be so good. It was gonna be so good. Ah! I need help. I need help. I can't keep living like this. This is insanity. I'm letting the external world control my internal state. I'm playing victim. If I continue to play victim, I'm just gonna be a victim. When I choose to be a victim, I give up my power. Victimhood is a choice. Maybe I should start focusing on the inside. Maybe I should change my internal state and watch the external world change, rather than trying to manipulate the external world and thinking it will change my internal state. It doesn't work. It hasn't been working for this long. I can't see it working. You know, Jesus said, clean the inside of the cup, and the outside will be clean. Maybe I should take his advice. Maybe I should start being empowered. Stop being a victim. And work on my inner mind instead of trying to fix the external world. There's nothing inherently bad about her canceling. It's me. It's me. I have some work to do. I did do that work. It was quite difficult, but it's work that everyone needs to do to be free. You must change your internal state, and then the external world will change. You can reach a state where no matter what happens externally, you are at peace. Why don't you want that? And see, the cool thing is, when everyone does this, and everyone's at peace, then the external world starts becoming beautiful. And that will happen. I'm very grandiose to that idea. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this gave you some insight into my addiction, and I hope this motivated you to cure your own addictions. Don't think of it as negative. It's natural. As a biological human, it's natural to be addicted, but you can transcend that. So, try out some Primasada yoga. Check out some Primasada yoga on OnlyFans. And yeah, I love you guys unconditionally. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.